Hello, my name is Magda Seydegart, and this is my co-presenter, Ted Jackson. We greet you from Ottawa, Canada, as you mark International Human Rights Day with a conference that is very important to you and to all of us who wish to advance human rights, and we do. We very much appreciate and feel honored to be part of this conference, and we want to share with you some of our ideas and our analysis briefly from a longer paper, which we have prepared entitled Managing the Clash of Values, Embedding Innovative Evaluation Approaches in Human Rights Education and Training. So in order to make this a useful presentation, we've kept it quite short, and we're going to just, we've agreed that Ted will do the speaking notes to it. So I'm going to pass it over to Ted.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. As Magda says, we're really thrilled that we're part of this conference today, and sending you all of our good wishes and solidarity. We are inspired by Taiwan and your commitment to human rights, and are just, as Magda said, honored to make a contribution. So let's see if we can make one that's useful to you. Our general overview of what we're writing about and thinking about here is really focused on the role of evaluation in human rights education and training. And evaluation really is used to assess the effectiveness, the efficiency, the relevance, the impact of programs, government programs, projects, policies. And it has a long history in governments, as you know. It really comes out originally out of engineering and business and management and other fields, but it has spread to many other fields of endeavor that include, for example, environmental studies and gender studies, international aid, and many other areas where evaluation has become an important tool for improving, first of all, for proving what the theories of these programs and interventions intend to do, and also improving, trying to use evaluation to improve the efficiency and the effectiveness and the results of this work. All of us are in the situation these days, everywhere in the world, of clashes of values playing out in our societies. And we have one big one here in North America that is playing out between populism and liberalism, but there are many others. Conspiracies versus science, autocracy versus democracy, indigenous versus settlers, LGBTQ indigenous versus heterosexual indigenous players, and more. And some of these are very obvious, and some are much more nuanced. You have to really work at understanding them. We certainly do ourselves. Our general point around innovation in evaluation is that there are ways, there are methods, there are tools to amplify the voices and the choices of the more marginalized stakeholders, the less powerful actors in these programs and policies. That isn't a simple fix, but it is closer to a way of actually conducting evaluation so that it will be useful to the human rights agenda, and particularly around human rights education and training interventions themselves. And when we talk about embedding, we really mean government officials that are trained and rewarded for applying these and other innovative strategies and methods in the human rights education and training space, and in human rights policies and programming more generally. So we're really looking for a way to use evaluation to manage this clash of values, to understand better what is going on in our societies, and to come to some kind of balance across various interests in the countries and the societies that we're part of. We think that it's worthwhile to really scan widely to look for innovation and evaluation along these lines. And indeed, there are many fields that have, in our view anyway, have created some very useful approaches and tools that the human rights education field should take a look at and see what is of value, what can be used there. There are many fields, as we mentioned: higher education, business and management, gender studies, development finance in international development, many areas where these innovations are emerging. One of them is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And that's a very ambitious agenda, global agenda, as many of you know. But we'd like to just point out that each of those goals has targets. There are many ways of measuring progress towards those targets, and some are statistical, but others are qualitative. And there is all kinds of work going on around the world to use a very wide range of tools, from focus groups to randomized controlled trials, to measure the effectiveness of progress towards these SDGs. Another area has come to be known in some circles of evaluation as transformative evaluation. And in this case, it really refers to a more climate-related look at the world and policies and programs that are transformative in the terms of fighting climate change. There's a literature on this. There's a lot of people building on this practice. You find it actually around the World Bank and the professional associations. International Evaluation Academy is one place where there's a lot of work going on this approach to evaluation. There's also Indigenous evaluation, and this is practiced around the world in many parts of the world by Indigenous organizations themselves. It really involves everything from mapping and oral histories to groups of people talking among themselves, to surveys and many other, to the use of drones and other data collection tools. But we wanted to point out that the Government of Canada actually has done some very interesting work around Indigenous evaluation. And we talk a little bit about this in the paper and give some examples. And there's much more to say just on that stream of work itself. The fourth area that we highlight is feminist evaluation. And this has been a field or a subfield that has been building for 25 years, perhaps. There are many practitioners in the evaluation world, in the professional associations, publishing in journals and talking at conferences about various aspects of feminist evaluation. Again, the Canadian government has done some really interesting work around this, including in the Canadian Aid Program, which has developed handbooks on how to do feminist evaluation of international development projects. The fifth area is LGBTQ plus aligned evaluation. That's the term we're using. And it is also a subfield, if you will, of evaluation that has emerged in the last 10 years in this case. There's some literature on it in the American Association of Evaluations Journal. There are other areas and organizations that are practicing in this area, and in particular to get LGBTQ plus organizations themselves involved in designing and carrying out and using evaluation in partnership with governments. And the sixth area that we have highlighted here is really coming from a field called impact investing. And there's a whole literature and body of practice around measuring the impacts, social and environmental, of financial investing and climate finance or climate investments in not only developing countries, but developed countries as well. So that's a whole area of expertise that you might want to look at as you think about evaluation in human rights education and training. So we won't go too much further in this presentation. We wanted to leave you with some questions. We are, both in the paper and also in the slides, we have some further reading, which you can follow some of these trends and streams of work further. But we just wanted to raise some questions for consideration by the conference. The first one is really, how can evaluation units and managers in government departments conduct their work in ways that better manage the clash of values in the human rights space? That's a very general question, but it really raises the issue of how can evaluation be useful to human rights, broadly speaking. The second question is really around which innovative evaluation strategies and tools can help manage this clash of values, given the role of particular public servants, managers of programs. What can work best in those specific situations? And that really takes some thinking and some scanning, and perhaps even some talking with other evaluators and with the groups to be evaluated. And the third area is really around how can executive teams and government departments incentivize public servants to utilize these and other methods in the public interest? And so there are many ideas there for incentives, one of which is to have awards for really good practice in these areas of using innovative evaluation methods. A second would be, actual promotions or bonuses for doing things in this way that would work, and other human rights, human resources policies in human rights that will build the capacity, the skills, the orientation of government officials to utilize these and other methods going forward. So we raised these issues. We hope that they're useful to you. We know there are many other topics under discussion here in the conference, but hope that some of this will be useful, and we wish you every success in the conference and in all other things in Taiwan going forward. We wish everyone a very positive future. Thanks.